Hey everyone, welcome. It is your best friends, Tappy and Dak here with the
Yo,
first ever episode. Well, I didn't mean to talk over you like that.
no,
But
no, we're off to a great start now.
oh yeah, with the first ever episode of the Flithy Casuals podcast. Again, we are your hosts, Tappy and Dak.
We got a couple of good ideas. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, you know, fuck. Yeah, I might as well shoot. Yeah, cut that out, Tabby. Post
Oh
on.
yeah, do you want to restart?
Oh no, no, no! You'll just have to cut it out and post. It'll be fine.
Uh,
Um, yes, slide title card in front. Uh, episode 1, the big three of gaming. You haven't thought of that title on my own. Don't worry, don't worry. I know it's
there we
peak.
go. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so obviously with the Switch 2 being announced, there's a lot of hype around that as well as possible competition with the Xbox Series S or X or the Xbox naming scheme is so weird, but we'll get to that later.
Whatever their next gen
You
console is.
know, and the PlayStation 5 obviously is still just as big as it was when it first was announced and released. And when I think about it, when I think of the big three, and yeah, especially early competition from the consoles, it is so much different and so much weirder than it is today. I mean, yeah, we went from the GameCube and the Wii, and PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and now it just feels like so money hungry for all three. I don't know if that's just me.
I think I really agree with the money hungry part, but I also think a lot of as time has gone on, all three of the consoles have really gone in their own separate directions as well.
That's a
I've
fair point.
noticed.
I do definitely think none of the consoles are, or at least the brands are the same as they were before, whether for better or for worse. It's definitely been a big change in terms of I mean, just to start, okay. Nintendo has always been successful, whether or not they put effort into their projects. Well, not to say that there isn't effort there, but yeah, let's compare it. Right, the GameCube and Wii had like a bunch of big titles. GameCube, obviously, Smash Bros. Melee, a sequel to Smash Bros. 64. Um, Kirby Air Ride, and underrated classic, Thousand Year Door, yeah, Metro. I'm pretty sure they had a Metroid Prime game on the GameCube as well, or that might have been on the
That is
Wii, but
correct.
yeah, and all those kind of stuff. And like going forward to today, a lot of, and this might just be me. It feels like a lot of what Nintendo puts out are just remasters and remakes now, especially on the Switch. Wii U, I think it wasn't that big of a deal because it was pretty much already a failed console, and there wasn't much to like really be happy about or like much originality in the slightest besides maybe like Nintendo World. And then coming to the Switch, it just feels like it's all sequels and remastered. Thousand Year Door got remastered. We got a Legend of Zelda sequel, Breath of the Wild going into Tears of the Kingdom. We got a Splatoon sequel, and it just feels like it's the worst it's ever been. Oh, I don't want to say the worst because a lot of the content that was being brought out and a lot of the games that were being brought out were in a really high point. Tears of the Kingdom was well received and compared to Breath of the Wild. Splatoon 3 definitely added, a better campaign, better DLC and stuff like that.
Right, right. Are you still on that point, or
No,
are
no,
you
no,
feeling?
go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, I think you make a fair point with obviously a lot of like me and you have talked about this several times.
Mhm.
A lot of it really is re-releases or sequels, but I will say to complement a lot of like the re-releases or remasters, a lot of those were Wii U games that just didn't get to shine because the console failed, and a lot of people are finding new love in those games.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I'm pretty sure Hyrule Warriors got a remaster.
There's stuff like Hyrule Warriors, Mario Kart 8 obviously got
Hmm.
remastered and put over.
Hmm.
The big Switch game. Um, like shit like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Mario 3D World. a lot of really good games that people just missed out on because
Yeah,
they thought the Wii U looked stupid, even though the Wii U is like one of the, in my opinion, one of the best early gen consoles.
really, really.
I can't believe it's considered like early gen now.
Yeah,
Like
it's kind of wild, but I mean, Switch has been out for, or at least was out for like 5 or 6 years. It feels like it's probably been longer than that because I believe it was
yeah,
2018.
yeah, like the Switch has been out for a long
Yeah,
time,
so
a long
yeah,
time.
we're looking at like a 7 year gap and a 7 year fight and stuff like that. And now with the, Switch 2's coming out, I'm curious to see the specs for the Switch were just awful. And compare, a lot of earlier, even GameCube games, really, I'm pretty sure ran natively 60 FPS. There were very few times where a game ran 30 FPS. And yeah, a lot
So
of the Switch games just being again. Let's going back to the Thousand Year Door and its specs. The fact that Thousand Year Door, ran native 60 on GameCube, and now going to the Switch, which is keep in mind that's like a 20-year gap. I want to say like
that's
2003 or 2023, and 20 years later, and it's running worse. It's a 30 FPS gap, and even then there were lag spikes, and it's wild to think about.
it has to make you wonder what the biggest gaming giant right now. What have they been doing? This
Just
they kept the Switch 2 like a hidden commodity for the longest time,
mhm,
and
mhm.
now it finally got showed off publicly, not leaked.
Yeah,
Like this, the Switch 2 has to do well, I think, for Nintendo to, or else I think the fall of Nintendo is going to happen in this era of next gen consoles.
that's the only reason I disagree with it because usually when Nintendo fans receive the bare minimum, it feels like they just grasp onto any positivity they can and they keep buying and buying and buying. I think people are getting fed up, but with the alleged leaks that it's going to essentially play like a PS4, I think people will take like the 60 FPS and like the updated graphics and hopefully upscaling, and they'll take that and run with it, I'd imagine.
So I think you make a fair point, but then you have to keep in mind the Wii U scenario.
Okay, okay,
Like you,
yeah.
you have to keep that in mind
Well,
because I because
it
look,
seems like a better naming convention, just to say the least.
it's a simple naming convention. Not original, but
Yeah,
you gotta take simple stuff.
yeah.
But I just I don't know. Like based off initial looks, there's not a lot we can go off of without like looking at leaks, and
Mhm.
leaks aren't always reliable. But um, it just looks like it's literally just the Wii U scenario all over again, where
Yeah.
they added like with the Wii U and the Wii, all they did was throw a tablet on it and call it a day, right? With
Yeah.
the Switch 2, they gave it a better kickstand and like some weird
More
looking
buttons.
Joy-Cons,
Yeah. It looks like
like
they're trying to like use them as a mouse. I don't know if you saw in the trailer when they're like sliding them like on the side. It looks so much like they were trying to make a mouse, which I hope is not a feature. I cannot trust enough. Do not try and make like not literally keyboard and mouse, but do not try to make like a mouse game for the Switch for one. And number two, with that Switch release, or at least the alleged, Mario Kart 9 rumors and stuff like that, how they look. I will say, for the most part, I don't mind the changes they made to some of the characters, except for Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is just,
he got robbed.
yeah, I don't, I get they're going with the movie theme, which would be fine if he didn't look like a bum in the movie. He just looks so
Like,
strange. It
here's the
worked in
thing.
the movie because it was charming, but the transfer from movie to game is a bit shaky.
Look, like, yeah, like just keep in mind, Donkey Kong was this guy that used to be a Mario villain,
Yes.
and now he's Mario's best friend. He looks chummy as hell. He lost any type of masculinity he had.
Yeah.
That's no look like Donkey Kong. That's Donkey Kong Jr.
Yes. That's actually a very good point. It reminds me of like Donkey Kong Jr. and I'm pretty sure Super Mario Kart for the SNES. Same sort of look, same sort of feel. It doesn't you don't I don't feel threatened when I look at him. I just
Yeah,
like,
like
oh
he's no longer a big scary ape trying to defend his island.
yeah, like
He's just a guy that goes karting with Mario
Yeah,
on a casual adventure.
and speaking of, when are we gonna get another original Mario? And I do not mean Mario versus Donkey Kong. Like none of the minis, none of the mini nonsense, tipping stars, just none of that. I want Mario to be the villain, Donkey Kong, or Mario to be the villain. I want Mario to be the hero, Donkey Kong to be a villain, and that is it. We have not seen something like that in such a long time outside of the miniseries.
I think at this point though, with how they marketed Donkey Kong over the last few years, he really is just Mario's ally slash friend now.
Eh, yes and
And
no.
and look, I think even then, think about it, if they're leeching onto movie marketing, which they kind of look like they are.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think we'll ever see Donkey Kong as a villain in a long time, unless
Yeah.
it's a remake.
Yeah, honestly. Well, and it feels like everything that they do with Donkey Kong now is just straight up a like it's just repeating Donkey Kong, like the original Donkey Kong. Like it just feels like you're at the arcade, you know, all the miniseries just feels like you're just it's a Donkey Kong stage, but you're making it yourself. Genius
Which,
marketing,
I
but
mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that on paper, but it would be nice to have something new with the
right, an
character.
original, like something that really, you know.
'Cause, you know, honestly, I was surprised Donkey Kong played such a major role in the movie.
Mm.
So it was kind of nice to have like a big Donkey Kong related thing. You know, I love the
It
guy.
was right. He's a
Like
very fun character, and I believe he's very malleable and has like a big family and big cast of characters you can work with.
I mean, he has his own game franchise for
Yeah, I
Pete's sake.
know.
Do
Yeah,
something with him.
yeah.
Stop giving him shitty remakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tropical Free. It just
Did
again.
they? No, hold on. Didn't they just remake Donkey Kong Country as well for the Wii, and they put it on Switch?
Oh yeah, that is. I completely
Oh,
forgot about
he's got
that.
nothing but remakes on the Switch.
Yeah, there. I don't think there is an original Donkey Kong game on the Switch. That is a crazy statement to say. I mean, Donkey Kong Country Returns was good, but like do something new. It reminds me of the New Soup series, which we'll get to later with Wonder and all that. But it reminds me of the New Soup series and like how much they just reuse the same things over and over and over and over. And just I want a new game, and I don't mean like Wonder. I mean I want a yeah, Donkey Kong 64. I'm not saying I need that remastered or anything, but another big open kind of adventure like that would be nice.
Yeah, it really is sad to put together like Donkey Kong's newest generation of games is like Smash Bros. Ultimate and whatever like sports games have come out on the
Yep.
Switch.
Yep.
That's the newest iteration of any game he's been in.
Yep. Speaking of Mario sports games on this, are we just I know we got one, okay, but like an actual good golf game? The Mario Golf on the Switch was hyped for like 2 seconds, and then everybody dropped it, and I
I mean,
never heard anything else.
if you want to talk about dying hype, let's like talk about the Mario Soccer game. They got
Oh
remastered and put
my
on Switch.
god, I was so happy to see a Mario Strikers game on the Switch, only for it to just be the biggest disappointment I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, like don't even bring Mario Golf into the conversation without talking about Mario
Okay,
Strikers.
that's fair. So I mean, Mario Strikers is such a big disappointment. It just felt like a watered down for Strikers before was this violent big sport, pushing people into electrical fields, fighting people, literally hand fighting people, and like with a bunch of different cast of characters, and it felt like just a general war. And then it gets ported to the Switch, which Nintendo's just not as obviously they're not going to be as like daring with that kind of violence, especially with how ESRB is, at least in recent time. And it's just so like watered down and kid like, which obviously okay, it's going to be it's gonna be Switch Nintendo and not wanting to be any sort of provocative. But oh my, you took the flair out of so many people.
It got the NFL treatment, honestly.
Oh, I agree. I
Which
agree. It's
it just
just
became soft.
yeah, just it's nothing like what it used to be. And it would have made sense if they at least kept like the same soul and life in the characters, but everybody just feels so watered down. I don't know if that's just me, but
So actually, I've noticed with a lot more Nintendo products recently.
Mhm,
especially Pokemon, for example.
mhm.
But do you think that like when Nintendo made the big move over to like everything being 3D modeling, do you think that made a lot of their sprites look more lifeless?
Yes and no. I definitely think there was a lot more there's a lot more life to the earlier sprites, but I think that's somewhat towards like childhood nostalgia and also somewhat towards it felt like there was a lot more effort and care put into it, whereas per now it feels like there's a lot of, oh, well, let's get this game out and let's get this game out. Scarlet and Violet, for example, since you brought up Pokemon, that felt like the biggest rush job in the history of Game Freak's like reign over Pokemon. And I mean, it has a great story. Scarlet and Violet have a fantastic story with a lot going for it, and I would say solid DLC. And it's just it falls flat because it's just so broken and it's a buggy mess. And it's not. It would have been fine if afterwards they would have incorporated a lot of bug fixes and just some stuff to make the game like actually playable and fun to play. It's the reason that I haven't bought the game. They took no measure of being like, "Hey, we messed up with the release. We're going to try to fix it as best as we can." I think they did like one bug fix and it didn't really fix anything.
If you want to know, like, if you want to know what's funny, right? It's
Mm,
like so all their updates really for the most part were just paid content DLC updates.
correct.
Um, but I think towards the end with like the final DLC update,
Yeah.
they actually made Violet almost like Violet's almost unplayable at this point
Are you
if you use
serious?
Miraidon. Yeah, if you use Miraidon, because Miraidon's always like the special effects that come out of its tail and stuff.
Mhm.
It actually just lags your game so hard.
That is just
Like it's actually pay to lose at this point to
yeah,
buy Pokemon Violet over Scarlet, especially in the speedrunner genre, because that's where I learned this from.
yeah.
It's almost unplayable.
That is just embarrassing. And imagine, yeah, I feel bad. There's got to be like a lot of kids or something that did put out like their parents put out $60 to dish out for the new Pokemon game just for it to not work. That is a horrible marketing thing. And I'm
Yeah,
sure, like I said, with all the upscaling that is allegedly going to take place, I do hope Scarlet and Violet get the love that they deserve and the actual care put into them that they deserve. Because it's clear just by the story that they genuinely cared and it matters to them. And they put in a lot of work with the story to make it fun and to make it lifelike and to make the character like you feel something for the characters. So for it to just be a situation where it's just like the actual like game was rushed to get put out for Nintendo to make money. It's a hard time, especially if you're Pokemon fans and you have ZA coming up where you don't know if it's going to be good or bad or not. It's a rough time.
right. Like especially like after Legends Arceus, which is like their most successful game they've had in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching them actually practice with the open world aspects. I know me personally at least. My expectations were incredibly high for Scarlet and Violet. The game looked pretty. The new Pokemon looked fun.
Yeah.
It it had its big open world aspect, 3 different storylines. I was very excited to see this just for it did not deliver on anything.
Mm. I
It
mean, it's a mess. And with like again, Switch 2 coming, it's pretty much do or die for Pokemon Hope on the Switch. I mean, dude, if you're a Pokemon fan right now, you've got to be miserable. All the scalpers and stuff with the new Pokemon card series. Pocket being. I heard Pocket was actually doing okay, but
yeah, it's actually doing surprisingly better than I thought it would.
yeah, yeah. And the uncertainty with Pokemon on the Switch, you're just suffering. You were just in agony.
And your options are pay to win mobile games,
Yeah.
Switch games that barely
Oh
run,
my God,
or
Pokemon
you get to the
Unite.
card game.
Oh God.
I actually heard Pokemon Unite was fairly good though for the most part.
No, I think it was, but the fact that a lot of it was pay to win was just a crazy,
Oh,
crazy
oh
choice.
yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that, dog. I was talking about Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Oh my God, Pokemon Go too. That's mobile and like actual like open Pokemon games are so like Ugh. Like, why is
Yeah,
everything pay to win? Pokemon Go on release was fine. Unite on release was fine, and then they add all these changes and pay to win features that either A, nobody asked for, or B, nobody wanted and aren't like nobody wants to have to pay after getting a game. Okay, I think that is the stupidest thing ever. A free game with in-app purchases are just designed to just sap your wallet. But like for Game Freak to do it is just let's look at before, okay? Just humor me in this one. Pokemon Black and White, right? This is the one everybody goes to, and this is a beaten to death argument, but bear with me, okay? Black and White, and even Black and White 2, you bought the game, you played the game, and there was good post game afterwards. There was
amazing,
no
amazing post
yeah,
game.
there was no buy DLC. There was no, oh, you need to buy this or buy that. No, you bought the game and you had everything that you wanted. Why can't Game Freak take the time? And again, they want money, I understand. If I'm paying for a $60 game, have all the content there. Oh, I think I genuinely would have played I would have paid 70 for Scarlet and Violet if A, it had love and care put into it, and B, it had all the DLC there, and I didn't have to go out and buy more. And at the end of the day, it just feels like a cash grab at this point.
And I think to add on to that, I'm gonna reference good old Elden Ring here, right? Elden
Mhm.
Ring is a fully finished game that takes hundreds of hours to complete. Plus, there's so much replayability. $60 game.
Mhm, mhm,
They give you a DLC for $40 that adds like another 60 worth hours of content onto that.
mhm. And that's perfectly fine.
DLC is perfectly fine
Mhm.
if it is a finished product that adds and expands to the game that is
In a
already there.
meaningful
Base
way.
game in a
Right, right.
meaningful way, yeah, not in some bullshit way. It actually it is worth the money.
Mhm.
Scarlet and Violet will give you $30 DLC each, in total, wrapping up to a nice another $6 game, another Pokemon game,
Yeah, 120
and
total for one game, by the
and
way.
and this isn't even the worst part. The worst part is that the DLC doesn't even work. Especially don't even get me started on the slideshow called the Indigo Disc.
Oh my
My
god.
PowerPoint slideshow moves faster than that game does. I presented one. It moves faster.
Oh my god, the Blueberry Academy, like the ending scene. I have not like seen a bunch of the stuff with the Blueberry Academy, but the literal end credit scene. I think I was watching the Alpharad video and it bugged out. It bugged out and it freaked out
Yeah.
and didn't know what to do. I'm like, again, you're paying $30 for this.
Like I've seen it played by at least 4 different people now. It has never worked for any of them. So obviously it's not a Switch issue.
All
It's a
right.
game issue. The game does not work. If you're gonna be
You
paid,
had to have play tested it. That's part that you had to have play tested it. You have to know that something is wrong with it.
and the worst part about it all is they didn't even do a cyberpunk makeover and make it playable. It is the
No.
same fucking way. A 2 years, a 2 year gap between.
Yeah.
I think it's the same garbage that someone paid a sad soul paid $60 to
So,
play that shit.
yep. It's
Like
$120 for not even, I don't want to say worthless, because like I said, they put effort into it. But oh my god, you want to rush the product and not fix any of the issues and just get the game out with no love or care. It's just there's no the playtesters have to know, you have to know, hey, the game isn't finished. It's pretty buggy. There's a lot of lag issue, with the hardware that we're working with. There's a lot of issues. You've got to know that. And
and
you
yeah,
still put it out anyway.
at this point, deadlines aren't even an excuse. This is an in-house game.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you guys couldn't push the date back because you're not ready. You're
Or
just selfish and greedy.
yeah, or better yet, hey, we know the launch date's pretty bad, here's like some special gift and we're gonna work on it, and then over the next series of months, do some bug fixes. Do
Yeah,
any sort
these
of patch or bug
like
fix.
did nobody learn from Cyberpunk how it had the redemption arc of a lifetime?
Exactly, exactly. And it was amazing to see, and it was
Yeah,
very
like
it felt like it mattered. You felt like you mattered.
it's just really like I don't know about most people, but the Switch series of Pokemon games has pretty much killed my interest in Pokemon.
I don't blame you. Like I
Let's
said,
Go Eevee and Pikachu is garbage. Like
ZA, I'm hesitantly. Oh my god, we didn't even talk about Detective Pikachu. Honestly, honestly, that deserves its own episode. Literally just
Bro, like I feel like we have to give Pokemon its own
oh
episode.
no,
Like
yeah,
there's so much to dissect from the early games to what the fuck is going on now.
yeah, yep,
This
yep,
is this is
yep.
this is worse than Sonic.
Really, I do. I think we got very, very much off track.
It was worth it.
It was. Um, yeah. All in all, the Nintendo from before to now, in terms of what they put out and the games they put out and the quality of said games, is just a horrific mess. And the Switch 2 is going to be pretty make or break, all things
Yeah.
considered.
Yeah, no, this Switch 2 and what they release on there, I think really does decide Nintendo's downfall in the next
Yeah.
era. Um,
People, I really hope people just don't I don't want people to just like it because it's Nintendo and take the bare minimum. It's now is as big a time as ever to be as critical and focused on, the mess that is Nintendo as possible.
right, like and keep in mind, this is just Nintendo's games. We haven't even gotten into like we're not gonna talk about it, but we haven't even gotten into stuff like the alarm clock, their
Right,
own
right,
Spotify app.
right.
There's
There's a lot to
Nintendo. We will be back for you.
we will be 100% be back. All right, Xbox. Okay, Xbox. Then
So look, let me just say,
go ahead, go ahead.
Xbox has to be. How are you a titan of gaming? You're the Disney of gaming, pretty much, right? But you're the biggest nothing burger on the market.
Yeah. Yep.
You have you like look, you like what games have they made in the last year? I think they made Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think Indiana Jones and Forza are still the only exclusive. I think, yeah, I think they're the
No,
only
well they well
exclusives.
this I think Hi-Fi Rush is exclusive as well to Xbox.
Oh, is it?
I think
Hmm.
it's exclusive to Xbox and Windows.
Hmm.
Which there's then the whole discussion of is Xbox even in the console market anymore?
No, sorry, I'm sorry. Just no, they are not.
Yeah, because
The the only thing that
they
they
have
have
nothing to
going for
fight
them.
for.
No, 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 no. The only good thing they have going for them is Xbox Game Pass. And here's the
Ooh.
problem with Xbox Game Pass. You don't own the games. You're paying a monthly subscription, and chances are you are not going to play all those games. So your
So
best bet is to get if you're really wanting to get Game Pass, and this is my opinion, this is what I would do. Find a bunch of short games that are on Game Pass that usually go for like $20 to $40 just on average. No no Sea of Thieves, no whatever. It's something that costs money. No like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or whatever it is. That's like a live service type game. None of that, okay? Short games, short single player games, and play those as much as you can for however long you have it. And then once you get through those, get medium type games that are like $30 to $50, maybe take a little bit longer, play all of those. The
so
worst thing that you can do, I think, is either not play. Let's just say you have a subscription for a month. The worst thing you can do is not play every single day that month to get as much bang for your buck as you can.
I think you do make a fair point, but you also keep in mind like there's probably subscriptions you have that you don't use every day, right?
Um, I think honestly, all I have subscription wise is Spotify.
That's a fair point. I don't know. I'll tell you as an avid Game Pass user,
Mhm.
I understand people's complaints with it, but I do think Game Pass is what obviously is the best subscription on the market for gaming. Like fuck Nintendo Online,
No,
that shit is ass.
oh my god! Speaking of its own episode.
I
Okay,
just
I'm
can't
over it.
stop hating Nintendo.
I'm over it. Okay, I'm over it. I'm holding it in.
Like,
I'm holding it in.
but I think and you make a fair point with like the short single player games, but giving people access to big games as well. Like that's where I found Persona 3 Reload. I gave it a try. I fell in love with it. That's my favorite game of all time now.
Mhm, mhm. And
Like
that's a fair argument. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think there's a lot to be said about with what games they put on there as well. My whole thing is locking something behind a monthly subscription just feels very to me. I felt the same way about. Okay, sorry, I'm beating a dead horse here. I felt the same way when Nintendo announced that they were bringing back like Yes, I think it was 64 games and SNES games and
Mhm.
locking them behind paid content. I felt the same way about that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a whole different that's a whole separate thing as well.
Again, yeah, like it doesn't stop, Nintendo. You are on
But
our list.
like, and again, I think you make a fair point with that as well. But it's something we've had, like, we've had some stuff locked by subscription since, like, Netflix,
I mean,
and
yeah,
it's what society's evolving into, and eventually, it's gonna be harder and harder and harder to find content not locked behind subscriptions.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good that Xbox is making such a big name for the subscription now.
I agree. I
Instead,
agree.
look at newer stuff, like, for example, Paramount Plus, for example,
Oh God.
falling flat on its face.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
what good
even
stuff do they have on there? I think they have like old Nickelodeon IPs. I'm pretty sure. I know for sure they have SpongeBob, obviously, and I
I don't even
believe they have
I think they have some South Park stuff as well.
oh some. They don't even have all of it.
No, I think they get the specials in, like, movies, I
Oh
think.
brother.
Like, and that's not even to mention, like, stuff like, Hulu as well is, like, I think, barely hanging on. That's only because Disney has it and it's bundled.
Yeah, I feel
Even though
like
I like Hulu's peak, but
yeah, I do appreciate. Out of all of them, I like Hulu the best. Netflix
yeah.
is a mess. They can't even handle Jake Paul and um. I almost said Muhammad Ali. Jesus. They can't handle nothing as big as that. Mike
Oh, dude.
Tyson and Jake Paul. And they can't the fact that you're a big I would say multi-billion-dollar business, and like the best thing you have to own for you right now, are you ready? Squid Game season 2, and that is the end of the Netflix stuff that I know that's on there.
I mean, Squid Game season 2 was peak. I did finally finish it last night.
I'm not saying it's
It was
not
good.
peak, but like what did they have in the interim between season 1 and season 2? I could not name anything. Peacock's a disappointment as well.
Peacock's carried by the fact it has The Office.
Yeah.
Not even its
That's
own
it.
made show.
That's it.
Like, so, back to Xbox before we get too off subject, 'cause
Yeah,
that could be
yeah.
a whole separate, like, oh, there's so much stuff to talk about. We have a lot of banger episodes, guys.
Oh god.
But no, I think out of a lot of the subscriptions, the Xbox Game Pass is definitely one of the
Yeah,
best.
I can
It beats out PlayStation's, beats out Nintendo's,
yeah.
it beats out, like, the Google Play Pass.
There's a
Like,
Google never mind. I feel like it's gonna
don't
make me mad if I even ask.
don't ask. Um, but, like, my biggest problem with Microsoft at the moment is that they have so many IPs. They have all the Blizzard IPs.
Hmm.
They have a lot more. I'm not gonna name them all.
Yeah.
But they're not doing shit with them.
Yeah. Oh, that was about to make that same point actually. You have a lot that you're working with. You just don't
In
really
fact,
I don't
like,
hear much about anything from them with like any of those big IPs.
yeah, and, like, if anything, the IPs you are actively using, like your Diablo 4, your
Hmm.
Overwatch 2, you're actively driving them into the ground by making
Hmm.
poor decisions.
Yep, yep, yep. Isn't
Like,
I think Path of Exile 2, is that with I want to
I'm not
say
sure.
it is.
I honestly don't know.
No, it's similar to Diablo 4. That's kind of why I was.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen a few people playing it since it's
Mm,
been come out. A lot more than I saw a lot more people playing that than I saw Diablo 4.
yeah, yeah.
In terms of, yeah, people I noticed, but I don't know. It's like, even you have stuff like Banjo and Kazooie. People would love to have
Oh
another
my
Banjo game.
God! When's the last time you've seen a Banjo Kazooie game?
Look, yeah, his last game was dog shit. But, like, if you re-release him now, you're bound to get some sales going.
You know?
I like, and actually, don't they have don't they have Skyrim now too?
I'm.
I believe they own the Skyrim IPs now.
Mm,
Not oh wait, no, wait, no, not Skyrim. They do own Skyrim, yes, but I
yeah.
meant Skylanders.
Do they? If they do,
I
that is a dude. The Skylander figures that used to sell, missed opportunity. What are you doing, dog? Microsoft. Do you hear me?
yeah, like,
You can't buy all these IPs and then just sit there with your thumb up your behind and do nothing with them. That is a waste of talent and a waste of art and a waste of money.
yeah, and let's not even get into, like, their big front and center IP Halo
Yeah.
that they released a half-assed version, Halo Infinite 4, which
Oh,
they rebuilt it and made it playable. Like it's actually fairly good now.
yeah, yeah. But
But like
on launch, it
at,
was
at that point, it's already gone. You
yeah.
haven't advertised it since then. And you made a live service game. What are you doing? Are you not learning from Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG?
Well,
PUBG, even PUBG.
yeah,
PUBG's doing better than your shitty game.
which is a wild statement in the
And that
Big
game, that game,
25.
yeah, that game looks like it was made in a fucking Chinese factory.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I think I've said
Xbox
everything I
is
had to say on Nintendo.
okay.
I mean, not Nintendo,
uh,
Xbox.
I think
Like,
Xbox in and of itself is the last point I'll make. From the beginning with like the 360 and one, where they actually had their own persona, their own personality, their own reason for existing. In the Big 25, it just feels like it's, hey, we have Game Pass and we own all these IPs, but we do nothing. They don't feel like. hmm, Okay, they don't feel like their own company anymore. It feels like, do you remember what was it called? There was like a gaming service where they had like a bunch of different games you could play. I don't remember what it was
you
called. It
mean
was
like
was
GameFly?
it Styria or
Oh, like it's like the Google one, right?
yes. I'm pretty sure Google owned it.
I can't
But
remember the name of it. It's
I
like it's
I,
like, it's like Stadia or something like that.
Stadia. It might have been Stadia or something. But it feels like that where it's like, oh, we have a Game Pass, purchase our monthly subscription, and you can play all these games. It doesn't feel like they have their own sense of identity anymore.
Yeah, it feels like 'cause I feel like they're in, like right now they put themselves in between a rock and a hard place
Yeah.
where it's either they have to go compete on the console market,
hmm
or if they don't compete because they're leaning more and more and more towards the PC side every day, they don't have to compete with stuff like Steam and Epic.
You're right, which you may as well just be walking right into a monopoly. Steam and Epic are probably the two biggest game releasers. Whether it's because I mean, Steam just has an unbelievable category of games, and
I mean,
Epic is
yes,
just their own IPs. Fortnite's just too huge, so people use the Epic Game Store.
Epic is also backed by Disney now, so
I forget about that.
yeah, like
That appears in my nightmares every couple of months.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
like even for like the PC side, I prefer the Xbox app.
yeah.
I prefer like it's better than it's. I think it's better than Epic and Steam, but
I wouldn't doubt that. I
I
wouldn't
I
doubt
think
that.
if they're gonna get involved there,
Yeah,
they have to make some game breaking
yeah.
strides to even have a
Xbox,
name.
you you're on the outside looking in, and if as it comes to the gaming market, it is. I don't want to say it's do or die, but you need your persona of your own. All right, you need your own identity when it comes to making games. If you want to be a part of the big three, because I would say of the big three, they are probably in last by
Easily,
far.
right?
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say by far.
think about it. When's the last time Nintendo's? I mean, not. I keep someone to say Nintendo.
I
When's
mean,
the last, when's the last time Xbox has had a game on the Game of the Year nominations?
oh my god, I
An
couldn't
in-house
begin to tell
studio
you.
game.
I could not begin to tell you.
Because every year it's like a Sony game and a Nintendo game, a
Yep,
Sony game and Nintendo game,
yep,
Sony Nintendo. Like it's not even.
yep.
I I don't think Microsoft has ever had a game up there.
Nope. I mean, it's just. I mean, okay, and this is more general, but like even mobile games, I would argue, are doing better. They're at least being shown off for Game of the Year and winning awards at the Game Awards.
I mean, yeah, let's just point out stuff like Zenless and Genshin
Yep.
got
No.
voted Player's Choice, and where was
And
Indiana Jones? Nowhere to be
where
seen.
was Honkai Star? Yeah, another video. Another video.
Ooh, yeah, ooh, God.
Heat after heat. Um, the Xbox, it's time either become a part of the console quote unquote wars again, or it's time for you to bow out and just focus on being a subscription service. And I think I know what they've kind of already decided to pick. You know?
Yeah, I think I think they're done with consoles. 'Cause we haven't even heard any news about the next
No,
Xbox.
yeah, no,
Whereas
nothing.
we've heard some news about the PlayStation 6.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
it's a funny thing to hear. But speaking of PlayStation, I think out of the big three, they're number one by a pretty solid margin. And that's
you
not
know,
saying much, but
I
I just personally, I feel like, and I'm not a PlayStation guy, I'm a Nintendo person through and through. Out of all three, of those consoles, I feel like the most love is given to PlayStation.
I really want to agree with you there, but half their player base is still on the PS4.
Okay.
That's not to say the PS5 is bad. I own a PS5,
Yeah.
but and look, I think what we should talk about before we really dive in with Sony is console prices.
Oh.
What are we doing? What are we
Oh,
doing,
oh
guys?
my god. Hold on. I just the PlayStation 5 Pro. The PlayStation
Oh, you be so
5
excited.
Pro, dog. $700 for the PlayStation 5 Pro
Like,
is insane.
like at this point, we're getting borderline PCs.
I know.
We're getting into PC price.
You might as well just buy a PC at that point. There's more bang for your buck. Oh, and I raise you. I raise you. Want to know what the 30th anniversary price is on PlayStation's website? On PlayStation's website, okay?
What is it?
So hold on. I just kind of spoiled it. Regular PlayStation 5 Pro, okay?
Mm-hmm.
$699. $699, okay? 30th anniversary, $999.
What the hell is that coming with? Is it coming with a built-in pussy? Like, I just.
I think it
Why
comes,
are we getting up there in price?
yeah, no, I think it comes with like a PlayStation carrying case for the controller and a controller. And that's it.
PlayStations
Dude,
come with controllers anyways. What are they advertising that for?
it's up that's $9,000. You can buy a bad PC for $1,000.
Dog, it doesn't even have to be bad. You can buy a mediocre one.
Yeah.
Like, if you, as long as you look at the parts well enough.
Yeah.
But
It's just $1,000.
What are
Sappy.
dude? I'm really worried for the Switch 2 price.
Yeah, I'm
Because they are not gonna sell outdated hardware.
Nope.
For more than $400.
Nope. Like I said, I'm not buying Switch 2 on launch. I'm not buying Pokemon ZA on launch. Get me
No.
a deal, get me a Black Friday, dog. Knock that thing like 30% off, and then we can talk.
Look, I'm not even gonna entertain the Switch 2 until I see black and white remakes.
True. Honestly, I don't blame you. I'm shocked. Okay. But as good as I think PlayStation is in terms of like the actual stuff that they put out, because they actually have exclusives. Can you believe it? Xbox, take notes. They actually have exclusives. However, I want to be fair. I really do want to be fair. The prices are out of control. It's a better price for an Xbox, but you get better I don't know. It's a better feel for a PlayStation.
I think, look, unless you're really addicted to like their exclusives, you might as well go with the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Pass is better. Like you realistically you get the same amount of games, well, same types of games. I think only like certain PlayStation exclusives, and like I think Black Myth Wukong is exclusive to like PS5.
God of War series, fantastic.
Ooh.
The Last
Yeah,
of Us.
let's really get into their games.
Yeah, so just in turn, this is just straight exclusive. Okay, God of War, obviously. The Last of Us.
You know what? Overrated.
Yeah, I don't really like The Last of Us, but I'm like, some people do, and some people really love the series. So I'm just
one game of the year for a reason, I guess.
Right, Gran Turismo. Oh, apparently, the Spider-Man series, Insomniac Spider-Man. Okay,
don't even get started on that peak gameplay.
Exactly. Okay, there's a lot of good Ratchet and Clank. I mean,
a beloved series by many, by the way.
Exactly, Ratchet and Clank, fantastic series. But like all of those are just actually, I think was Horizon.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that in a second. I was gonna let you finish, but look, I mean, I got two of their fucking disc sets sitting right on my desk: Stellar Blade and Horizon 2 Forbidden West.
Yeah.
I have the other. I have the first one started on the PlayStation already.
Bloodborne. I didn't even think of it.
Bloodborne, a game PC players I've been begging for.
I know, they're desperate.
Not even like.
PlayStation has hits. They have hits. They have beloved games. Even PC players can't get their hands on.
Like,
there is merit to saying that the PlayStation exclusives are some of the best in gaming.
yeah, like that's not even to mention their new Game of the Year winner, Astrobot.
Is Astrobot actually? Oh, that's right. It is PlayStation exclusive. I
Like,
cannot believe that. There's so many games. It is unbelievable how many exclusive games they have that are just fantastic or hits or it is astounding how much they actually have just absolute banger games, absolute care put into the games, absolute just great gameplay, and
yeah, I mean,
only on PlayStation. And again, I am a Nintendo fanboy through and through. I am not. This sounds like I'm glazing and I'm very biased. I'm not. Just PlayStation has a lot more going for it compared to Nintendo, compared to Xbox. They're limited games, the stuff that they keep to themselves, that they make money off of. They keep putting out the best content. It's not close.
yeah, I mean, dude, like last year for Game Award nominees alone, all right, they had Astrobot won,
Mhm.
but then in the honorable mention section, Blade was there as well.
Mhm.
They almost had two nominees
Yeah,
in one in the same year.
yeah,
Yeah, no, yes, Nintendo did that too, but Nintendo had to release two game-breaking games. They had to
yeah,
release Mario Wonder and Breath of the Wild 2,
yeah.
two of their hottest titles. These are two new titles that Sony just put out.
Exactly. I was gonna say that too. It wasn't like they were released at the beginning of the year. They were released pretty decently into 2024.
Like, it's just like say what you want about Sony's marketing and their console prices,
Yeah, which
but
is absurd, and that is
it's just
that
very
is a
fair point.
genuine criticism. Yes. Go ahead.
But
Sorry.
I would like, and look, the game prices are insane too. That's a whole nother topic
Mhm.
for another time.
Mhm.
But the games at the end of the day are very worth it for
Yes.
PlayStation players. I think
Yes.
the only actual criticism you have for PlayStation games is the length. They just like they're like all like like the base story is always like 20 to like 25 hours.
Yeah, they're pretty chunky games. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
No, I mean I'm just saying like if you want to do like an hour, let's like more like think about a lot of like big games, right? Like
Mhm.
Elden Ring takes a long time to beat. Persona takes a long time to beat. Metaphor takes a long time to beat.
Right.
It's like you're paying $7 for like a 20-hour game. Some people have a complaint with that. I get
Yeah.
it,
There's
but
not a lot of like sit down and play for like a couple hours or just calming games that are PlayStation exclusive.
right. But at the like, dude, there's a reason why these games are all nominees.
Yeah.
Like even Spider-Man 2, which was argued, which a lot of people were saying was a little worse than the first one,
Yeah.
was still a nominee.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, you can't take away that it was still, it was still there. It still mattered. It's
I
just,
just, ooh.
it is
And
amazing. And again, the criticisms that are there are genuine. I cannot put this in. It sounds like we're big PlayStation now. They are genuine concerns and genuine things that you are allowed to be upset with, and there's a valid point to all of them. The fact remains is the content that they actually put out, price notwithstanding, console price notwithstanding, it's the best in the market.
hmm now, what does PlayStation do worse in the market? Their economy. They're
Yes.
as we just showed off, like talking about with the prices,
Hmm.
not great. But like in terms of like online game subscriptions, I think they have it the worst as well.
Yep.
I like because we just give Nintendo a lot of shit for theirs. But Nintendo has cheaper options. Like they
Yep.
have like $10 options, $15 options.
Well, never mind.
Do they still have those anymore? They're gone now.
Well, they don't. They're all mostly scams, and were easily manipulated. They were easily manipulatable in the system. Again,
I
story
was
for
talking
another
about, like
day.
I thought you could like buy like the year-long subscription for like $20.
Oh no, you just mean the subscription for Wi-Fi. I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah.
like the sales on games. Yes, yes,
No,
that
no,
is
no. Oh,
correct. That's
dude,
correct.
look, Nintendo, you're getting your own episode. Um, but yeah, you know what? Somebody even gives sales for the $70 games. Where's Nintendo sales?
Yeah, I'm starving, dog.
You have to go look in the store personally to find that shit.
Well, dude, they had to my knowledge, okay, one sale, one in the entire life cycle, and it was I think for Christmas or something like that.
Like
And it wasn't even for like their best games. I think it was like for their first.
it was the shitty hentai games they have in the store.
No. Well, yes, but that's a
Oh,
whole other thing. It was like actual first party Nintendo IPs. The only problem, they weren't the good ones. I don't think it was like a Wonder or a Tears of the Kingdom situation. It was like
It's probably like WarioWare,
like
like
yeah, exactly
Striker.
correct. It was like Breath of the Wild and like either older good IPs or IP first party IPs that were kind of like side games in a sense.
Hmm. Like like and yeah, PlayStation gives out doesn't put their games on sale that just came out that year, but the year
Mhm.
after they'll put them on sale for like
Yeah,
30 to 40%. That's a very fair price for a
right.
game that's of that caliber.
Yeah. And again, the console might be expensive, but at least they actually give sales on games. Over time, if you're like a main PlayStation player, over time, it's not going to be like Steam where, every month, oh, big Steam sale or anything like that. But there is merit to waiting around, oh, this game's a little too expensive right now, wait a year. And oh, it's on sale for $20 instead of 40 or $30 instead of 50, stuff like that. There's merit to it.
And I will also point this out as well. A lot of times, like the sequel to a game is if it plays similarly to the original game, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, the Spider-Man games, but it just adds new mechanics.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, if you like the first game, you're gonna like the second
Yeah,
game, which means obviously the first game is often cheaper. You buy the first game, play test it, and then you decide, oh yeah, I'll buy the second one for full price because I
right.
actually really like that product.
And it's a good combination to have. And again, what I would like to also say is this doesn't mean that it's gonna either work like that every time or that all the games are the same because they aren't. But there's a meaningful and worthwhile change and effort put into them that makes them unique and original to each other.
Right. I There's a lot of stuff that I think Sony needs to do,
I
like
agree. I agree. Like
drop the fucking
lower the
prices for one.
price. Yeah, please.
Um,
If I wanted a
uh,
PlayStation 5 Pro, I am not paying like $800, dog.
yeah,
Please.
like second, get rid of all these like get rid of all your monthly subscription
Mhm,
tiers and all that shit.
mhm.
Just have it so we can play online.
Yeah, have
If
a
like
have a have
I understand having like a catalog people can pick from when they buy the subscription, but
yeah.
you're not Game Pass.
Well,
Game Pass has
here,
you
if
beat.
you really, yeah, I agree. Game Pass has them beat. If you really want to do different tiers, have a just strictly online tier. Make it $20, 25 if if the five really matters. Make it 25. That's just for online, and then make it online. Keep in mind, do it for a year. Okay, I get like the month, 3 month, whatever. But that's fine. You can keep those prices, right? Make a
Hmm.
separate thing that is online and PlayStation Plus, and make that like 50 for a year. You're paying
Yeah, yeah.
you're paying 25 for internet, so it matches that price, and then you're paying another 25 for an entire catalog of games. It really, if you want to make it like the price of a regular game because they're getting so many games, you could even make it 60, and I don't think I could really argue with it. Okay.
And I think I just thought about this as well. If you're worried about people getting too many games for a cheap price like that,
Hmm.
just rotate them in and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could do like a God of War month, a Horizon month,
Yeah.
like
Or have
like
certain game themes or certain games, or even like, hey, here's what's there this month. Here's what's going to be here next month. So if you
yeah,
don't,
like here's Spider Man and Miles Morales.
right,
Like
if you don't want to buy it, this month, or you don't want to, whatever, okay, you can buy it next month. We have better game selection this time, or and stuff like that. I think
yeah,
that would be a fantastic addition.
I know I know they're not gonna listen to this, or maybe they already thought of this, but I came up with the first PlayStation. Give me some money.
Give me my money. Give me my money. Yeah, but
But yeah,
like I said, out of all the three, PlayStation is definitely doing the best for themselves, and I don't really think it's an argument.
like, Nintendo's getting by off of nostalgia at this point.
Yeah, which I respect the grind. Please,
It's sad to see. I'm not tired of this shit.
I only respect it because when they do actually have the like remasters and stuff like that, they're pretty good. I will give them that. They are really
I
good. And I mean
look.
strictly like Thousand Year Door and stuff like that. Keep in mind.
I think if anybody was gonna need to rely on nostalgia about now, Microsoft is your turn.
Oh yeah, true. That's a good point. Really, Microsoft, what are you doing, dog?
Like I think, and like look, I seriously think they're kind of done with the console game.
Yeah,
I
they've got to be done. PlayStation is. honestly number one in terms of just lower your prices, lower everything like $150, please. Make the if you want to make the PlayStation 5 450, that's fine. PlayStation 5 Pro, make it like 500, 550, something affordable.
It's getting
Please.
outrageous.
Please, if you can hear me, PlayStation, if you can hear me, I don't even have any of your consoles, but your consumers would love you. I guarantee you they would make more money.
Dude, uh, now to be fair, on PlayStation side, like I think the new gen consoles have been out for like 5 years now at this point.
Yeah,
If you haven't been able to save up $500, like if you save up, a little bit each month, like maybe like if you save up 10 a month for 5 years, you should definitely have a PlayStation 5 right now. If you
yeah,
don't have one, that's on you.
yeah. Okay,
Right? That is
I'll give
it
that.
gets to a point where it's not on PlayStation anymore. You greedy little bastards. Is it on next gen? I mean, is it on old gen console? Is it gonna come out on PS4? No, upgrade you bitch.
Alright, yeah.
All these people begging for GTA 6 to be on the PS4. You're not getting that.
You do if anybody tries to download GTA 6 on their PS4, that thing is gone. Okay, it's going
Dude,
to
like
explode.
your house is gonna be a meme accident on TikTok the next day.
Somebody will be doing a TikTok dance in front of your house.
It's they're gonna play sad music and be like, bro tried to play GTA 6 on the PS4. Like, come on, man. The upgrade on like it's your fault.
It's time.
Save your money.
It's time. Okay, it is time to upgrade. But yeah,
I bought a PS5 in high school. You guys can do it too. Get a job.
get a job. But you can't live on mommy's money forever. Yeah, I agree. Okay, it's just
Now
it's
it
tough to
now
see.
now look, the PS5 Pro. I understand.
Yeah.
All valid
Oh
criticism
yeah.
against that
Yeah.
piece of
Yeah.
shit. But
The regular PS5, you should be
you're
able
out of
to afford it.
excuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you really wanted one, I think you would have one by now.
Yeah. All in
Oh, my
all,
baby. Like, shut up.
all three consoles really, they all have their flaws. Some more than others. Cough Nintendo, cough Xbox, but they all have time to change. 2025 is a big year with a lot of big releases happening. It's a Nintendo. It's do or die. Xbox either commit to being a service provider or just make a better console. PlayStation, lower your damn prices, please. You gotta be
You know,
suffering. Everybody's suffering, please.
if you had to rate them, and like which one just rate them like 3 to 1, obviously like, one being the
Okay,
best.
okay.
Which one's
Obviously,
better?
third place I'm gonna give to Xbox. They've been a failure. Okay, you can't call it anything else but that. They're a subscription service through and through, rather than their own identity. And I don't really think that's something you can argue. I mean, they know at least Nintendo, all their first party stuff are exclusives, and then they poured in some indie stuff. At the end of the day, Xbox doesn't do any of that. They have maybe two, three exclusives, and none of them are particularly, incredible compared to PlayStation, compared to Nintendo. Number two, obviously Nintendo. Switch 2 is make or break. Either give us a console that's usable, give us something that we can actually like look forward to, use that runs well. Upscale your games. This is a big one, okay? Upscale your games on the Switch 2. That will be a big selling point. That'll be a big happiness for people if they can play their games at 60 FPS. I'm not even, like I said, not even asking for 120, just 60 FPS. Put out Metroid Prime 4 this year. You have ZA coming up. You have a lot of big IPs that are depending on this. Pokemon fans are desperate. They want something to look forward to. Make ZA a good game. Start looking at Gen 5 remakes. And as for Metroid Prime 4, I know they're working hard on it and they've had to go through a lot of changes and stuff like that. It's time. 2025 is the year, to come out, to start selling it. It's time. It's long since time, okay? As for Mario games, I'm not saying, it's going to be hard to make a follow up to Wonder, okay? It's going to be hard. It's possible, but it's going to be something you really have to work on. And I'm going to say the same thing about the Paper Mario series. That is being held held in a very like fickle sense after the Origami King. There's hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for Nintendo as a whole. They have to work with the consumers. They can't keep no more cease and desists. No more nonsense. It is time to be a company. If you really support the play, you aren't gonna have Miyamoto for Smash anymore. It is a big time. It's a big change. It's time to be a better company. It's time to listen to your consumers. PlayStation, obviously, I'm gonna put it my number one. They're the best out of the three, purely by game standard alone. I'd say for economy, they're probably in last place, unfortunately. But just purely game console. Once you buy it and once you get a hold of the games, they're fantastic. They're wonderful to game with. They're original. Maybe there's a lack of calming stuff to play, relaxing stuff to play, but that's what the indie titles are for, that you can purchase off them, and they're usually on sale because of how old some of the indie titles are. A lot of good stuff going for PlayStation. Again, all three consoles have criticism, and at the end of the day, some of them are more dire than others. But everybody loves it. Everybody loves the console they like. I'm hoping that 2025 will be a big resurgence for gaming as a whole. All right, Happy.
Well,
I'm kind of interested to hear your take. You got your ranking 3-1.
all right. Yeah, so are you ready for this? This one might be a little surprising. Nintendo at the bottom.
Okay, okay. I'm curious to hear this.
Just because, like, how Nintendo's released at least like I want to say like 100 to 200 like titles on the
Mm-hmm,
Switch,
mm-hmm,
custom made by them, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, I can only think of like five that I've been impressed with. That's Smash Bros. Ultimate, both big Kirby games.
Yep, yep.
The Mario Odyssey and Mario Wonder. And before you say Tears of the Kingdom 2, I didn't really care for the first one, so I didn't care for the second one.
Honestly, that's valid. I will say it's a better play, but I can respect that opinion. Honestly, I really can.
Right. And then look, the Switch 2 fall off just has to, I mean the Switch fall off has to be studied.
Mhm.
Like this is Drake level fall off. Going from the top of the world to wow, is my console able to run this game
Is my console
that
gonna
I made in
explode?
house by me?
Yeah.
Ooh. Like I
And
don't
like I
know.
said,
This
Scarlet Violet, just a complete mess for Pokemon
and
fans.
and keep in mind, and again we're gonna say this for Nintendo's special episode. This has even we haven't even
This
begin
scratches the surface.
we haven't even began to talk about the shit like the Joy-Con drift
Oh my
or
god.
take the broken kickstand on half the consoles. Like, look, Nintendo. At least look, if Dak doesn't make it, that's fine. But I will be back for you in one way or another.
All
Um,
right, number two. I'm
now
interested. I'm
number two,
interested.
yeah, I'm gonna give number two to Xbox. And look,
Yeah.
like I'll look, and, like they are kind of in a weird spot right now.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
if we're talking strictly consoles, at least their console works.
You got me there.
It rivals PlayStation, right?
Yes, yes.
For a reason. So, and again, like the exclusives, yeah, it kind of bullshit. But I think about it this way: let's let some of the games are like $60. You just let you drop instead of dropping $60 on a game, you just buy like Game Pass for like 4 months. You get like 100, you get hundreds of games for roughly about the same price.
Mhm.
And I just think it's a good deal. I think Xbox is it's a good console for very casual gamers who just want to
Yes,
try a lot of
yes.
games. They want to play all like the fast paced multiplayer games with their friends.
Mhm.
I think that's a good way to go.
That's a fair assessment. And number one, of course, PlayStation.
Obviously, PlayStation,
Yeah,
PS5 owner
yeah.
here, non-biased. Because actually, before you say biased shit, everyone, I actually used to hate PlayStation. The PS5 is my first PlayStation console.
Mhm.
All right, but it deserves all the glaze it gets. Um, like banger titles back to back to back. Like I think they had their first like meh title drop this year. And that was Lego Horizon. That's good. And I
Mhm.
don't even think that was really their fault.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you know, look, we didn't even get to discuss the PlayStation VR.
That
Yeah,
that might be another deserves its own episode, or we can make a follow up episode with more criticisms. I'm sure we can figure something out.
right. I really like the PS5 controller compared to the PS4 one. It's bigger in your hand. It feels like an Xbox controller, which I
Mhm.
actually love
Mhm.
Xbox controllers. Um, I don't know. There's a lot that PlayStation does right to make up for their faulty wrongs, because the faulty wrongs are there, as we talked about. The economy's dog shit.
Yep. Yep.
Your subscriptions are dog shit. Um, that's kind of it. Oh, actually, no, that's kind of it. That's kind of it.
Okay. Okay.
But your economy is the reason why your console would fail.
Yes, and even then, it's with how much like other good stuff it has there. The fact that the economy is like the worst part of it says a lot to their like, and not like their game catalog says a lot to like how powerful and how strong of a system they are.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
Like I don't know. I'm thoroughly pleased by
yeah,
the
yes,
PS5.
yes,
It was a very good purchase.
yeah, just fantastic stuff all around from PlayStation. I think that is it for us today. Ran a little bit over what I thought we would, around like an hour, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Next time, what do you think we should talk about?
You want to talk
Honestly.
about the gacha games?
Oh, gotcha games? Okay. Next time we'll
Yeah.
talk about gotcha games, Genshin Impact, any of the Nikki series, really.
Oh
Oh
God,
my
Nikkei.
god.
Oh
Oh
no.
man,
Look,
this ought to be great.
I'm because I'm sure we're mainly gonna talk about the Hoyoverse games and like
Yeah,
maybe with like probably Withering Waves as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
has to be a
we're gonna stray
conversation.
off. Nikkei, your ass is grass.
You're cooked, dog. If I see
Even
that,
you Pokemon TCG, good for you.
oh yeah, Pokemon TC. Okay, we'll talk about the TCG games too. We might as well hit all of them. All right, guys, that's it for this time. We'll see you next time when we talk about gotcha games. See ya.